Hi guys, it's reaction time. We got the band Molly Hatchet and Rainbow Bridge. Now there's a reason I'm doing this. My mate Ralph become a good mate of mine actually, and weirdly enough I always would say before I started the channel that there's no such thing as online friends or, you know, friends through the internet and not meeting up. Totally untrue. Made some really good mates since I've started the channel. You all know the Iridiots. I consider them all mates. Really want to catch up with them one day. And another mate who's been a subscriber for a while now, and I would consider him a good mate, is Ralph. So I do mention Ralph a lot. We talk a lot about music. We've got so much in common. Ralph at the moment undergoing some issues because of his mum's ill, quite seriously ill. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but he's asked for this song, and I think it's more than likely because related to his mum being ill. So Molly Hatchet, it's called Rainbow Bridge. It's from the album 2005, Warriors of the Rainbow Bridge. It was the 11th studio album from this American southern rock band. Now I have delved into Molly Hatchet before myself. Not on the channel, but quite like some of their stuff. Not all of it, but I like quite a lot of what I've heard. I do like a bit of southern rock, as you know. So one of the original members, Bobby Ingram, I think he was maybe one original member at this time, but there might have been two. Guitarist, he wrote this song, and this album I think was dedicated to his late wife. She suddenly died. She was called Stephanie. And the whole album, I believe, was dedicated to her. But this song in particular, which is called Rainbow Bridge, it's the last track on the album. So without further ado, Ralph, my mate, this is for you. Molly Hatchet, Rainbow Bridge.
Raising eye to see, they tried to give you all the love they had and ever need. I gave you unconditional love so you would never feel alone. We picked out a nice cold house that you turned into a home. So let's celebrate the lady we were lucky to know it all. I'm so sorry she's gone, but the spirit lives on and on. As you cross the rainbow bridge, you're in my heart. About you every minute of every day. You and Mama are above me 24/7, 365. I know you walking with the angels and you're safe and sound tonight. So let's celebrate the lady we were lucky to know her at all. I'm so sorry that she's gone, for the
think that's a good place to stop it, guys, because it's just about to change. I can hear a transition into something else. So, man, I mean, I didn't really know what to expect. I know I've heard a lot of different stuff from Molly Hatchet, and it's always been different. You know, one minute you hear a rocking out tune, and the next minute you hear something like this. It's almost a ballad, a real epic ballad. You know, I love the way the piano is sort of running alongside those verses, tinkering away. That's beautiful stuff, which is a thing in Southern rock. You know what I mean? I mean, Skinner used to do it all the time. They do now, but you know, especially the classic Skinner lineup. Yeah, I love that piano that they used. But I mean, this is cool. This is real epic, and I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Because apart from, would you really call this Southern music if it wasn't for the vocals? Because they are as Southern as you can get. I love that vocal, man. He's got a brilliant vocal, and it's just beautiful the way it's just drifting along lyrically, obviously. So, and I think, you know, there's no sort of hidden messages behind it. This is totally, from the lyrics I can hear, totally about the subjects. So straightforward, you know, about missing someone, and you know, and how the spirit lives on, and all that. You know, it's just everything we feel, isn't it, when we lose someone, you know? And that's just, there's almost a simplicity to it when you're going through that, which Ralph's going through with his mum. You know, she's not gone, but you know, she's ill, and I had the same, you know. And songs would literally, you know, especially at the time, if you're going through something, songs mean something to you. And I've mentioned this before on the channel. Alter Bridge, My Champion, was the song. It came out when my dad was ill, and it was played at his funeral. And now I can't even, I find it really hard to listen to that song. And it's weird, isn't it? You know, the song that really grabs you at the time, and you go through it. And I can't even listen to that song. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But man, just getting upset thinking about it now. But you know, my heart goes out to Ralph and his family. You know what I mean? So, Molly Hatchet, Rainbow Bridge, I love it so far. I absolutely love it. It's an epic Southern ballad. You know, the way that, I don't know what's going to happen now, but almost that, you know, what's the most epic Southern ballad that changes up and keeps changing? It'd be Freebird, wouldn't it, from Skinner? That's what I would think of. And it's almost giving me those feels of that. The piano, the really mellow verses. Now something different is going to happen. It doesn't sound like, you know, it's not the same structure as Freebird. It doesn't sound like it, but you know, I can relate this to that amazing song as well. So here we go for the rest, guys. Well, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I mean, talk about a song of two halves. I mean, more and more it went on, it did remind me of Freebird. Obviously split into that massive instrumental section at the end, which was just amazing. The guitar work was just out of this world. Absolutely brilliant. That is that's pure perfection if you think about the sort of song, you know, what it's about, the tribute, the guitar work, everything about it was just brilliant. The feeling was there all the way through it, even through the rocking bit, because you know as well what it's about. It almost brings that extra feels to the song. It was just amazing stuff. So it just proves, you know, that, you know, some southern music, you know, some people probably think that some of the musicians ain't top-notch musicians. You know, when you think of, like, you know, people, the guitar gods and things like that, you always talk, you know, I always think of Eddie Van Halen and, you know, people like that. You know, that's who you think of in that sort of scene. But you know, if you actually think about it, this song, Freebird, the guitar in some of the best you'll hear, you know, and they're guitar gods too, they really are. So that's an amazing song that was, man. Molly Hatchet, Rainbow Bridge. And I'm sure, you know, myself and everyone who watches the channel can comment below. We're thinking of you, Ralph. And I'll see you soon, mate.